released on Monday. It's had about 3 or 4 million views, and she said that nobody in Uganda KONY is not on the map. He's rumored to have been dead 5 to 6 years ago. Okay, and that the Lord's Resistance Army is no longer a military faction, but that the Ugandans believe that this is a kind of a PR stunt by Washington.
Well, now they're saying it isn't about KONY. They just want to draw attention to him, but they're like, first there was Hitler, then there was bin Laden, now there's KONY. But don't worry, the UN's going to get all these KONYs, and there just so happens to be one in every country where they want to bring in military force, and we've seen what Western military's done in Africa there. What's your view on that? I mean, do you agree with my assessment that this is a pretext to just start invading African countries, backing up dictators and others?
I do believe that. I do know how horrible President Museveni is, and I also do know that he is an ally to the U.S. government. I also believe that the fact that they just discovered a lot of oil in Uganda on the border of the Congo as well is very appealing to the U.S. and how they're not happy with them trading with China. I just feel like the U.S. always has to put their hands on everything. If the Ugandan government and the Sudanese government and other surrounding Kenya, they can all help out. And if they wanted to stop these things, they could stop them on their own. But all these governments are corrupt on their own. And to have America come in and act as the superhero, they can't, because our own government isn't even that stable.
A lot of people think it's bull. That it's just a propaganda campaign as an excuse to go into Africa to take advantage of their natural resources. Have you heard anything like that, or what do you think?
I have heard that. A lot of people on Facebook have been saying that it's like, it's been going on for a long time, but now that the videos come out, everyone cares about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is kind of true. I did just watch the video, and now that I know about it, I care about it more.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's like bullshit.
Yeah, do you think a lot of people just accept whatever they see and just like, I mean, they let their emotions get involved, and then, you know, I can understand a humanitarian effort, but that could be easily disguised as a reason to go in there and, you know, take advantage.
Especially in a video where this guy's kid takes a greater role than any of the victims.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I think that, like, if you're gonna support something, you need to not only look at the people that are campaigning, but also do like further research and read articles about the issue.
And the organizations behind it. It's called the Invisible Children. Back in 1990, they had Citizens for Free Kuwait, and they had an actress who said that she saw Saddam Hussein's soldiers dump babies out of Kuwaiti incubators. They used it to drum up support for, you know, average American citizen hated Saddam at that point, and we wanted to go into war. It was all fake. Do you think it could be the same thing here with this video?
Well, it definitely could. I mean, in the video, he uses a lot of things that makes people like really emotional, or they'd want to get involved. By putting his own child up there and talking about how he would feel if his son got kidnapped, and then talking about his story. And it could easily be the same situation. They could have just come up with this idea, just like all this to get people to support them for something that they don't even know about.
Unlike that 15-year-old girl, KONY's been on a list, a fugitive list, for I don't know how many years. I think since 2005. So I guess I'm more inclined to believe him being a real fugitive than a 15-year-old girl.
They took the babies out of the incubators. Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor. I can only ask how these animals can commit such barbaric and inhuman acts and then deny that these acts ever took place.
Premature infants in incubators were sentenced to die by having the incubators removed.
The hardest thing was burying the babies. I myself buried 14 newborn babies that had been taken from their incubators.
Now is the time to check the aggression of this ruthless dictator whose troops have bayoneted pregnant women and have ripped babies from their incubators in Kuwait.
I could not help but think of my nephew, who, if born premature, might have died that day as well.
And they had kids in incubators, and they were thrown out of the incubators so that Kuwait could be systematically dismantled.
You're familiar with the first Gulf War. There was a story where they brought a young girl in to testify in front of Congress, a 15-year-old girl from Kuwait, and she told Congress that they were taking babies and out of incubators and throwing them out onto the floor of the hospital. And on that premise, it really helped the public opinion go for the first Gulf War invasion. Do you think it's possible that the KONY 2012 could be a ruse in order to hype up military intervention in Africa?
Absolutely. I absolutely think that KONY 2012 is a ruse to get American involvement in Africa.
In 1990, there was a PR firm that hired a Kuwaiti girl who's 15. They basically trained her, gave her acting lessons. She went before Congress, cried, it was very emotional and looked very believable that Saddam Hussein was taking babies out of incubators in Kuwait, 312 of them, tossed them in the street, and they all died. And I remember being very angry at this. It turned out to be total crap, all made up. It was a PR firm. So that's what the Bush administration back then used as an excuse to go to war with Iraq. You know, one of the reasons. But it was very helpful, you know. So do you think that it's something like KONY 12 should be looked into and investigated before people?
Very much so. You totally changed my whole thought process of it all.
All right. Well, you rock.
I appreciate it.
The 33-year-old creator of KONY 2012, when you go home, you wake up hungover tomorrow, you're going to see it all over the news. He was arrested yesterday in San Diego. He was masturbating in public, he was drunk, and he was vandalizing cars.
Any sort of his qualifications. I mean, bigger leaders have been arrested for weirder things. That doesn't make them any less qualified to be a leader, in my mind.
The only good thing to come out of Africa in the last 25 years was Paul Simon's Graceland album. Anything else? We out.
Is there a difference between the Bush administration and the Obama administration?
Not that much.
So, and a lot of people know that Bush was influenced by propaganda, or not by propaganda, but by big money, you know, by big corporations and all that. Is the Obama administration, could they possibly fall into the same trap?
Honestly, the government is the government. I don't care how many different parts you have to it, they're all the government. And so at one point, they all have to come together, correct? Right. And so basically, I mean, if I know Obama's a Democrat and you have your Republicans, but put them together, they all vote on the same thing when it all comes down to it.
Do you think there's any difference between the Obama administration and the Bush administration?
No, none at all. We've taken the we've taken the Bush doctrine and have adapted it to the Obama. So you're right when you say we have adapted the same administration over and over and over again.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah, there's no difference.
I mean, where do you think he gets his money for these campaigns that he's doing right now? It's not all Democrats. It's not all people that are meaning to do well, man.
Well, it's a lot of the big bankers that supported his campaign, you know.
Right. Now, he appointed the people with the whole bailout and things of that nature. He'll appointed some of the advisors on his campaign. They're working with him now. So come on, man. You mean to tell me that doesn't even make sense?
You think we have enough troops already deployed overseas?
Yeah, I think it's gross. I think we're imposing our military factions on people that aren't asking for it.
I think it is a bit of a ploy for American troops to maybe intervene a little bit.
Probably somebody else to find, you know, ever since bin Laden, you know, probably find another excuse to go somewhere else and find somebody who's a threat or whatever.
Yeah, we always need a boogeyman as an excuse, right?
Exactly.
Well, as you can see, a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that they are repackaging war propaganda as liberal and trendy, and the population of this country, by and large, is not buying the 1984 adage that war is peace. I want to leave you with this quote this evening by Akira Kurosawa, Japanese film director of legendary renown. He said, "In a mad world, only the mad are sane." And I can give you a few other quotes, one from George Orwell, that in a world of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And then there's another one I'll probably butcher, and I forget who said it. You can look it up. But that in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. There's kind of a parable along those lines of the wise king woke up one day and an evil witch had poisoned the well in the town, and so everyone had been turned evil. So the wise king went and drank from the well and became mad and evil, and so there was balance because now everyone was crazy. Kind of like everybody in Nazi Germany thought what they were doing was okay, but it wasn't. A lot of people in America think it's okay what's going on, but just because some people think evil's okay doesn't make it okay. I think that king should have pulled up stakes and moved to a new area instead of drinking from the poison well. And that quote of "in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king" was Erasmus of Rotterdam from around the date 1510, so 502 years ago. Well, the Google NSA search engine has some uses after all. That's it for this edition of Infowars Nightly News. David Icke was supposed to be on tonight, but he's traveling, and there was a snafu. He'll probably be with us tomorrow night. I was looking forward to that. Great job to the crew, and great job to all of you out there that are subscribers. If you're watching this by the millions that watch it every week out there on the web, think about subscribing to see it first when it airs. All of my films, the daily radio show video feed, and so much more, because in the month of April, we mark 9 years of PrisonPlanet.tv. We've got a 15-day free trial running right now. So if you're out there watching in internet land, be sure and subscribe at PrisonPlanet.tv to support the very front lines of the info war, true alternative media exposing the dinosaur corporate whore media. All right, folks, we'll see you back, Lord willing, tomorrow night.